As you can see, the horses are on the track, and welcome back to Keeneland as we get ready for live racing in the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup. And now let's go to the paddock and Janine Edwards.
Well, Kenny, Indy 500 is a filly who appears to be on top of her game right now, and she is owned and trained by New Yorkers Peter Minikis and Bobby Barbera. Bobby, this filly has been a bit of a challenge at times for you to train, but would you say she's turned a corner and is on top of her game right now?
The last couple of months, she's really turned the corner for us, and she's learned to settle down now, and Pat had a little to do with that also, and her mornings have done a lot for her, too. So she's settled a lot, and hopefully she could continue on.
And you're talking about jockey Pat Day, of course. Yeah. Now, her last two races, absolutely huge, and she showed a new dimension, closing from last. To what do you attribute the change in style?
Well, I think getting shut off in both races a little bit. Right here, she'll get pinched back and stuff like that, and it made her last. And you know, maybe she just said, okay, I could do this now, and she started doing it. You know, a little help from here and a little help from there, and she's learned to handle it.
She closed with a flourish that day to run second. And here's Filmmaker and Sand Springs, who she will also face today.
Yeah, she come flying on the inside. I thought she was going to get up. I was very upset about the start of the race, and then to see how hard she finished and how hard she ran, to come up and just be second was upsetting to me. You know, I thought she should have won.
You said that Pat Day has given you a lot of confidence in her ability.
Yeah, the first time he rode her, he was back at the barn the next morning to make sure that he was on her the next time she ran and the next time she ran, and they made sure we came here today for this particular race.
Well, Peter, this is her last race, the Grade 1 Garden City Breeders' Cup, and I know that the weekend of September 6th and 7th will not soon be forgotten by you. You're an owner since '99, but you had never won a stakes race. Tell me about that.
It was an unbelievable weekend. Just watching her right there fly down and get the job done over a very nice filly in Dimitriova. It was something special.
And in a span of 24 hours, you won 2 Grade 1 races?
It was unbelievable, as I said. Just to win 1 Grade 1 was unbelievable. To win 2 is fantastic.
All right, well, we'll wish you the best of luck today with Indy 500, and she holds a special place in their hearts, Kenny. She gave both the trainer and the owner their first Grade 1 wins.
Janine, she has a special place in the heart of those wagering today as well. Still the strong 8-5 choice in this. 9 years ago, Danish won this race, the only foreign bred, interestingly enough, in 19 previous runnings to win the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup. But the second choice is bred in Great Britain, Maiden Tower, at 9-2, the number 3 horse. But Randy, she comes in with the credentials, a Group 2 winner in France, a Group 3 winner back in April at Longchamp.
It's always a challenge, of course, for horses to come over the ocean at different running styles. Sometimes they're running a different direction than they run over there. But when they're really top-class fillies, those can come over here and sometimes do pretty well. Raya Fan won this race 6 years ago in '97, coming straight over from Europe. So far, she's been the only one able to do it, but you certainly can't fault Maiden Tower's form. Always first or second, and she has speed. She'll usually be right up there close to the pace. Maiden Tower runs under the silks of the Darley stable of Sheikh Mohammed. There she is there.
Ridden by David Flores today. Spoken Fur is here. Of course, we talked about the multiple Grade 1 winner on the dirt, making her turf debut. Frankel is so deep in the filly and mare division. Why Spoken Fur on the grass here today, you think, Randy?
Well, she's kind of in an unusual situation. She's not really good enough, talking about the gray filly Spoken Fur, to run in the Breeders' Cup Distaff against horses like Azeri and Sightseek and Wild Spirit. Sightseek and Wild Spirit, also trained by Bobby Frankel. And the Ammermans, the owner of Spoken Fur, also have another horse they're going to run in the distaff called Adoration, who's trained by David Hoffmans. So here's a race for 3-year-old fillies, one of the last stakes races of the year, worth big money for 3-year-old fillies, and it's on the grass. She's got no grass pedigree whatsoever, and what little she has is bad. But still, why not? $500,000 Grade 1. You're not going to run her in the Breeders' Cup anyway, so let's give her a shot.
Well, Frankel has Spoken Fur and Personal Legend. Again, he has 23 Grade 1 wins this year, tied with Aidan O'Brien for the world record. If he wins this today, if one of his can win it, they are 7-1 and 11-1 right now in the betting, then he will break the record of all time, of all world, with his 24th Grade 1 victory. That is amazing. Of all times. Indy 500 remains strong. She is at 9-5, easily the clear-cut favorite here. Maiden Tower, the 4-1 second choice. And then you can almost flip a coin after that between about 3 others. 7-1 and 7-1 and 9-1. You know, in the 19 previous runnings, the favorites only won this 4 times. So that would mean that 15 times the favorite didn't, doing the math quickly, right? So, Randy, who do we have as our Budweiser long shot with that in mind?
You're looking at her, the 9-horse Filmmaker, ridden by Edgar Prado. Again, she's never finished worse than third. I think she's got a shot to win this race. I really do. She looked so good at Saratoga when she won a race called the Lake George. She had trouble. She burst through to win it. Last time out, she was beaten, but thought she was a little tired, gave her time off, and her trainer, Gray Emotion, thinks she's ready to bounce back in a big way today.
7 of these 19 races have been decided by a neck or less. Kurt Becker has the call.
And they're off. Sand Springs went to her knees at the start, then ducked in, and now has to drop out to the back of the field. And meanwhile, here's Maiden Tower moving forward for the early lead. Campsie Fells comes away second. Ocean Drive moves up in the center of the course from third to second, just 1 length off the leader. Spoken Fur is in tight down toward the rail, joined there by Indy 500. Filmmakers caught wide entering the first turn. Personal Legend back toward the inside. Now Sand Springs starts to pick it up a bit from the back of the pack after that poor beginning. She's 3 wide, 5 lengths off the lead. Stablemate Odd is running next to last, and Casual Look is the trailer 10 lengths from the front. Opening quarter 23 and 3/5 seconds. Maiden Tower leads it by a length and a half onto the backstretch. Sand Springs is very wide, moving up to challenge Ocean Drive for the second position. Those two side by side and bearing down behind leader Maiden Tower. Then further back it is Filmmaker. Campsie Fells is against the rail, 5 lengths off the lead. Indy 500 has 6 to make up at this point. Spoken Fur to her inside. Personal Legend just off her flank to the outside. Casual Look is next to last. And Odd is the trailer into the far turn. They got the half in 47 and 3/5 seconds. Maiden Tower setting the tempo, leading it by a length and a half. Sand Springs is second a neck. Ocean Drive is third a length. Here comes Filmmaker swinging wide from fourth. 3 lengths still to make up on the leader. Gap of 3 more back to Indy 500, who angles toward the center of the course. Maiden Tower still leads at a length and a half to Ocean Drive, Sand Springs, Filmmaker, and then Campsie Fells and Casual Look. Indy 500, not today. Final furlong. Here comes Filmmaker chasing after Maiden Tower. Ocean Drive, Casual Look, and then Campsie Fells. Maiden Tower short lead. Filmmaker on the outside. Maiden Tower and Filmmaker in a photo finish in the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup. 1 minute 47 and 4/5 seconds.
The second choice in our Budweiser long shot, just like that, as they come down the lawn and to the wire here in the 20th running of the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup. That's number 3, Maiden Tower. That early speed holding up, Randy. We talked about that almost, or did she get caught in the final jump?
I don't know. I thought it was too close to call myself. Maiden Tower trying to become the second European to win this race, and of course Filmmaker always consistent. Maiden Tower pretty much inherited the early lead when you saw what happened to Sand Springs leaving the gate, but she's accustomed to that. She's always been either setting the pace or very close to the pace in all of her races in Europe, and when she's allowed to have the early lead, as you look at her form, she digs in tenaciously, just like she did here. David Flores on the inside, Edgar Prado with Filmmaker on the outside. Too close to call, and we also have a steward's inquiry right now.
The inquiry sign just came up. You heard that gasp from the crowd. They were looking on the big boards here in the infield at Keeneland at the replay, just as you see it. Was it Filmmaker on the outside? Was it Maiden Tower on the inside? There's Edgar Prado aboard Filmmaker. Did they pull the upset? We will find out when we return from Keeneland. A photo finish. They're usually close, and this was as close as it gets in the QE2.
The road to the World Thoroughbred Championships. Powered by Dodge. This ESPN presentation of the Queen Elizabeth Challenge is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. By Citgo, we know you. By Budweiser, the best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. By Long John Silver's, boatloads of seafood are back. Aquabase.com, your official online source for racing information from entries to results and everything in between. Aquabase.com is a service of Aquabase Company, the thoroughbred industry's official database.
Unofficially, the 11-to-1 shot Filmmaker has defeated Maiden Tower unofficially. The asterisk indicating there is an inquiry. Casual Look did come in third. in this race.
And it is very unofficial, because when you get a look at the head-on replay, if you're holding a ticket right now on Filmmaker, you have good reason to be worried. You will see Filmmaker in the blue blinkers on the outside as she begins to bear down on the pace setter Maiden Tower. So blue blinkers there, and just to her inside, she makes contact first with Maiden Tower. Maiden Tower comes back out, if we could get another look at it, comes back out to bump Filmmaker almost in retaliation, you would think, as you take a look at it one more time. There's the initial bump under right-handed urging. Then Filmmaker comes back out, but a second time you'll see Filmmaker drift in once again and bother Maiden Tower. Kind of a tit for tat there, but to me, in my eyes, and I'm not much of one for a DQ, but when you have a race that's that close with Filmmaker by a nose, and she made contact twice on Maiden Tower on the inside, I would have to probably take her down if I was the steward.
We talked about how close these races have been. This is as close as any in the 20 runnings so far. Now let's go down to Janine Edwards, who is with one of the trainers.
Well, I'm here with trainer Graham Motion, trainer of number 9 Filmmaker, who was watching our replays on the monitor here, and you said to me, this is cruel. What did Edgar Prado say to you?
Well, he said there was a little bumping in the stretch. You know, I didn't even realize it was an inquiry. I thought we'd got it. I'll take the dead heat, but I hope we don't get taken down.
You had told me yesterday that this race was an objective for this filly since early summer, so you've got to be very pleased with her effort today nonetheless.
This filly's trained super for this race, and credit to Mr. Adam, who's been very patient with her. We pointed her for this race and almost pulled it off. We got our fingers crossed.
Well, right now it's not official yet, but if you do win this race, will you and Mr. Adam consider Breeders' Cup filly and Mare Turf for this filly?
I'll talk to you after it's made official.
Okay, well, congratulations in the meantime to Graham Motion, the trainer of Filmmaker. He's awaiting the official results anxiously, Kenny.
Janine, as we are all waiting to find out if number 9 will stand up, or will it be number 3 Maiden Tower? Again, a good look there at Filmmaker.
Trainers are very superstitious. Graham Motion in no way wanted to talk about Breeders' Cup until that inquiry light came off, and there's Graham right there getting another conversation there with jockey Edgar Prado.
Prado's been great aboard her, won 2 out of 3 aboard her, and it is official, and it's standing up. Yes, that's why they're hugging. Filmmaker, the 11-to-1 shot, ridden by Edgar Prado. Our Bud Long shot, trained by Graham Motion, hoists the cup there for Filmmaker, the upset winner of the 20th running of the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup from here at Keeneland. Finishing second behind her was the second choice Maiden Tower, who was ridden by David Flores, who is standing by with Janine. They were part of that inquiry. Janine?
That's right, Kenny. David Flores a little disappointed, as you can imagine, to see a Grade 1 $500,000 race slip away, but your filly gave a superb effort, didn't she?
Yes, definitely. She relaxed really nicely, and right now in the last turn, when you come to the top of the stretch, she responded very strong, and you know, you're going to take a good horse to beat her, and it just got bothered right before the wire, and I think that cost me the race. And I don't know, the stewards, you know, I believe they're pretty good here, and I don't know exactly what was the decision.
Tell me your version of what happened.
Well, I got bombed hard, as you see, the first time, and then I just tried to keep my filly in contention and just keep her as straight as I could, and I keep bothered twice, you know. And
filly hadn't run in 4 months. Do you think she's filly with a future?
Yes, definitely. I think, you know, I mean, that race set up just the way it was today, just to be in the lead, and, you know, I was very comfortable. And I think, you know, the way she responded in the end, she's going to have a good future.
Okay, well, sorry it didn't work out for you, David Flores. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. David, of course, was the recipient of the disqualification of storming home in the Arlington Million. You might remember, guys. He was on Suleimani, who finished second.
Yeah, we sure can't forget that crazy finish up in Chicago that day, Randy. This also in the final 16th. Most of this bumping took place, but again, the stewards have reviewed, and they say it stands. Number 9, Filmmaker, is the winner, returning $25.20, $10 and $6.40. Maiden Tower, the second choice, $6.60 and $4.80. Casual Look returning $4.80. Running time of 1:47 and 4 here at Keeneland today. And you look at Filmmaker has won 4 of 9 lifetime career earnings of over $459,000. 3 of those victories have been with Edgar Prado aboard. The first Queen Elizabeth victory for Prado and for trainer Graham Motion.
And maybe now Graham will tell us if he plans to bring Filmmaker to Santa Anita Oak Tree for the filly and Mare Turf. Not only a tough beat for David Flores, on Maiden Tower, but also for Maiden Tower's trainer, the Frenchman Alex Pantal, who'd never won a Group 1 in Europe, and it looked like he might get a chance by DQ to win a Grade 1 for the first time, but it was not to be, and they were the happy winners. Graham Motion's a good guy. You feel good for him in a situation like this. And incidentally, Filmmaker is a daughter of Dinah Former. This is the third in the last 4 years, the third race, I believe, in the last 4 runnings of the Queen Elizabeth II that has been won by a daughter of Dinah Former. Hot sire right now.
And now we take a look at the full order. Disappointing in here was Indy 500, the strong favorite most of the day. Went off at 2-1, finishing dead last in this field. Spoken Fur finishes 7th in her grass debut.
Certainly an excuse for Sand Springs, and you know, not really much of an excuse for others in that field, but shocking to see Indy 500 go from such a powerful win in the Garden City to a last place performance here, which certainly you would think completely take her out of any sort of Breeders' Cup contention.
We speculated last year, would anyone go with just 2 weeks time? 2 wound up going on to run in the Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf. Maybe a couple might come out of this, you think, still?
It's possible, but you know, in a close finish like that where nobody really draws off and wins authoritatively, it's going to be an awfully tough task to take a 3-year-old filly in 2 weeks against what looks like the strongest filly and mare turf field ever. And I would doubt if we're going to see that, honestly.
Thank you for being with us today here at Keeneland. Remember, coming up in a couple of weeks, it is the World Thoroughbred Championship Special, Saturday, October 25th. Randy Moss, Hank Goldberg, Andy Beyer, and Jay Privman will be there. Thank you for being with us today. A reminder coming up, Hot Rod Racing, the O'Reilly Fall Nationals, taking place in Dallas. For Randy Moss and Janine Edwards, I'm Kenny Rice. Thank you for being with us at Keeneland for an exciting finish. Take a picture of this. It is Filmmaker on the outside at 11-1, pulling the upset in the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup. So long from Kentucky, everyone.
And you'll